Hey everybody, I'm Sheila from Sweetie's Creations and Decor, and today we're using a Digital Deco Design prints. And this print is called Hello Halloween Haunted Forest 3. It's number 1032. It's got the skeleton in there. We're going to make it a little creepy. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this white. So I just took one of the 8x10 canvases and put just a coat of some white paint from Pixie called Saltwater Taffy. You could also put some primer on there, whatever you want to. I just always prime mine, makes it adhere better to your print. So we're just going to go ahead and get our print on. I'm going to iron it down just a little bit, and we're just going to put a few things with it. I did another print a little earlier on a live, so I thought I would go ahead and go in and do this one now. So I love this skeleton. He is so cool. And it's just kind of plain. So you could do anything you want with this. It could be any kind of Halloween. You can leave it in the blacks, the browns. You can put a little color in it. Whatever you want to do. We might even use a couple of jewels on that today. Okay? So let's just go ahead and get our Mod Podge. And I am using the Mod Podge in the multi on this one. Get that on. If you will, leave me a comment. And be sure and hit that heart, give me a heart, and check that bell so that you can see when I do go on. I do go on some live, and I am involved with several collaborations that we like to do some events with the collaborations. You can always watch those, and go ahead and watch my video, and please hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate that too. So I'm also on Facebook and Pinterest. I do have an Instagram account. Don't use it as much. Let's dry this up just a little bit. You can find me at the same name on the other channels. So I like a little bit of Halloween. I just like kind of the funny and not so creepy Halloween is more my style. So we're going to get this print on. I just dry mine just a little bit, and then I use the iron. You don't have to use the iron. You can put it on, use a plastic bag on your hand and press it down, and it does fine. I just go ahead and use the iron because it makes it a little easier, and it keeps the wrinkles out. So that ought to be dry. You don't want to completely dry it, but just a little tacky so that it does not make your print too wet when you put it on here and then cause watermarks. So let's pull it down a little bit, and that way I have room. Well, I don't think I'm going to put a bow on this one. I don't see a bow with this, but you definitely could use a bow if you like it. Okay, let's get that a little straighter. Up here. I didn't worry about my print being torn perfectly. I just used a ruler and tore it. And you can get these set of rulers. There's 3 of them. They're in my Amazon shop on my link tree. So you can check. I am an Amazon associate and do make a little bit of money from that. So if you will go to my link tree on my page, you can find all those links for the molds I'm going to use today. My Totally Dazzled, my Digital Deco Designs print, all those things can be found there. I will put the link in my description. That went on perfectly. That's all we need for that. This shouldn't be a real long video, pretty quick for you. And there we go. That went on easy peasy. If you have never done decoupage, it's really not that hard, very simple. I do like the iron method, so if you're starting out and you have wrinkles, using your hand can make wrinkles. So always put your hand in a plastic bag or something like this to give your surface heat. You're giving it some heat and pressing it down, and that way you're not touching it. When you touch it, that pulls it up, and so that's what keeps it from going down well. So you can use that, and you don't even have to have an iron. It's totally up to you. If you do not have an iron, that is fine. Let's turn this one off. I'm not going to be using it again. I do love the iron, but you do not have to use it. You can use a bag, And I do not seal my print until I'm through, and I sometimes just spray it. Sometimes I don't seal them at all. You don't have to seal everything. A lot of people like to seal them and like to go ahead and put the Mod Podge on there. I don't prefer to do that. It's totally up to you. Let's decide what we're going to do with it. So we are going to put like some little dark pumpkins and different things in there. We've got some bats we're going to put on here. So let's put these little bats. Let's kind of look at these in the sky. I think we'll put this one up first because it would be further away. And then I do have one of these little bats if we decide to use that one. That's just one from the Dollar Tree that was on our little ring. These are a whole set of 6, and they are here. Hold on, I'm gonna get them so I can show you. A whole set of 6. Here's the little bats. I did use Form Flex compound in mine. I do love that because it is flexible and it moves. Here's the little tree. Now the little tree, this is one of the first ones I did out of a different type of material. I did this one out of modeling paste from Pentart. And it has a few little ookies on it, but it does look spooky, so we might use this. I'm thinking it might be fine to go ahead and use that. You can take some of those off with your finger. That's all you got to do if you pull it in there. And then we might use this little tree over here or over here, so we might use that. And I have a couple of pieces of Totally Dazzled. I do have a big spider and spider web, so we might put that up in here. Let's see what we're going to do, a couple of those. I do like that. And he or she, deciding on which one we do, has been out with their pumpkins. So we're going to paint. I put up a little bit of black paint, and that was paint Pixie Licorice. I put a little bit of black paint on these to make them look a little bit more like they would go with this. I left some of the orange so that we'd have a little color on here, because this is a dark print, so we do want to kind of prepare a little bit for a little bit of color. But I like that it is dark and you can do anything you want with it. So I'm just going to put these little pumpkins over here like they've been picking pumpkins this morning. I'll just stick those right over in there. And I think we'll go ahead and put the bats on. And I don't know if I want this spider web, but we may use it. Let's think on that one because it is big. But we'll go ahead and put these on. And I like to use a different glue for that. I either use, and this kind of squirted out, so I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of that off, and I probably can use it. This is the Fabri-Tac, and you do need to kind of wipe it off and put your top back on because it will keep squirting out, and I like to leave it laying on its side. You can put a nail in the end of it. That's the Fabri-Tac. I'm using that. I've already got that out, and I'm just going to use my finger to put a little bit on the back here. Do not use hot glue on your molds because what will happen is it will come off later. So you want a good glue that's going to stick, and that's why I'm using either the Fabri-Tac, Aleene's Tacky Glue, or the 3-in-1. Any of those will work. Your hot glue is going to pop these back off in time. Sometimes it won't last, so I try not to use hot glue on any of these things. And this one has the little bats in the middle. You can see the little body, and you can see that little bat. Pretty cool. Now I've got a couple leaves here that I got off of something, and I'm going to put those over in here. And I put just a little bit of black paint on them. I don't think we'll be able to see that much. Let's go ahead and get our... Now this gets really yucky. It's just part of this glue. It always looks like this, so don't think that something is wrong with yours. It always looks like this. It's just the type of glue it is. And it does have a little bit of scent. If scents bother you, it may not be something you can use. The Aleene's Tacky Glue does not have the same scent. So you could use that and try that instead. I'm just putting a couple of these. I hope that they're going to stick. I think hot glue would melt them a little bit, so that's why I was going to use this. I'm just going to put a couple of those right over in here. I may have to use just a tad of the hot glue because these are not wanting to stick. They're sticking to my fingers. Fine. What do I do with my wet wipe? Okay. Let's see if we can get those to stay down. If not, we'll put a little hot glue on. Just a couple of leaves. Let's see if I have I do have some, I picked these out of my yard. I do have a couple of acorns, either one you want to call it, acorns. They do come out, you just glue them back in. So that does happen. I did able to get these, and some of them have kept a little green on them, but I do see a little bit of brown in some of them. I think we'll take a couple of those and try to put on here. Let me get my little wire, my little cutters. And I think a couple of acorns that fell on the ground would kind of be cool in here too. So I'll put a couple of those. Not something you have to use. You would find acorns that would be normal that you would find in the woods. This is called the forest. You definitely would find those. Let's put a couple of those in there just to have something a little different. Just a little different for your texture. Sometimes I just add things for texture just because I like the texture of it. So I'm going to put that one down in there. And then let's see if we've got a little small one. So let's find our little piece to it. So I did pick these out of my yard. I found them on the ground. Thank you to the squirrels that brought them for me. And I'm just going to take one of these off. Just going to cut them just like that. Here's a little one. Let's see if we can find one of these smaller ones that will fit in here. That one will fit fine. Let's just put a little hot glue. I like to use some things from the earth when I create, so I think these are perfect. And I'm going to put another one down this way. So we're just going to we'll go ahead and cut that off just a little bit more off. And then I'm just going to put some glue on it, and I'm just going to place it down right in here, just to give it some more something in there. We might add something else. We've got that right now. This is going to be pretty simple, but it's going to be looking good. All right, so now we got more dryness over here. Let's just stick this tree right there, but let's go ahead and paint it up a little bit. And instead of painting it black, I'm going to paint it kind of a dark gray. So I just got this dark gray color. Isn't that a cool color? This kind of got a blackish to it, so I think that will look good. Let's get a brush and let's put that on. Grab a brush over here that we have. Let's grab one from right here. I got some small ones right here. They sometimes fall apart. That's part of it. Okay, let's just paint this up. We'll be letting this kind of dry. I think I like that better than the black because we've got so much black in the picture already in our print. Let's just do this up in a gray so that we can, okay, we'll just put that right there. Let that dry up. Okay, got that one done. I knew I had this color. Let's just put a brush in the water, and that's out of the way. Get our little glue ookies off of here. You could put a little gray on your pumpkins too if you wanted to. So we've got that so far, and that's looking good. Let's move this where we don't get that paint. I'm just going to use the other side of this. We don't use that paint to get on everything. I've got a little bitty small spider web like this, but if I use the other one, the spider is bigger, but I'm okay with that, but I'm not sure we're going to use that. Now, we're going to use this piece of Totally Dazzled, and we're going to kind of put it back here in the woods like it is a haunted house that you go to out in the distance. That's what we're going to do with that one. Let's see. I think I'm going to put it over here, like maybe that's where he's going to, but it's still a ways away. So we're going to put that on there. That's part of their Halloween collection. And let's see, let's grab our B7000 for this. You don't want to put hot glue on these either because they will pop off. So try to use a good glue. Let's see if we can get some. Yeah, this one's coming. Now we're going to use a little bit of hot glue to hold it right now, but it's not going to be our permanent glue. This is going to be our permanent glue. So y'all have got 2 of these. So if this one doesn't have any more come out, we'll get another one. It seems to be coming on out. And I'm just going to put it places now. Do not put your hot glue in the same place you put this. You want it opposite. So we're going to leave that to the side. That's one of the little small ones. Now we're going to take a little hot glue, and I'm going to go where I do not have the other glue. So I left a place down here. I left a little place in here. A little bit right there. And that's just going to give it a temporary hold till our other glue sets up. And we're going to put it right here in the woods, like it is in the distance for them to go to, right here in the distance. And we're going to leave that one right there. And then I do have a kind of creepy spider too we might use, like this. Look at this. That's another piece of our Totally Dazzled. I love that. It's kind of big, but I think I like it coming in, you know, like it's going toward our skeleton. And it's kind of creepy, and I like that. Now we are going to have to put our glue on the ends of this one. So we're going to go right here. Let's take a little hot glue. I'm going to put a little bit right in there, right here on some of the places that we do not have our other glue. Okay. And we're just going to put that right here, like it's crawling toward him or her. And that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. I kind of like that. Now we could go ahead and just paint this little web. This is just in the middle of this spider web. I just took a little bit of my Formplex compound and just pressed it in the mold and pulled it out, and that's how I got this little bitty one. So what I found works the best is to paint it black and come back and put white. So let me get a little bit more of that black paint. We'll go ahead and get that painted up right there. Okay. This paints up real well, and if you've never tried the Formplex compound, it bends. So even after it's dry, it's still going to bend, and you can bend it around your jars, bottles, anything that you're doing. Stay pliable, but it's also pliable after it dries. So this is completely dry, but you see it's still bendable. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this Posca pen on here, on top of our paint, and kind of color in our spider web a little bit. That seemed to be easier than doing the paint. I think it works out well. And kind of get our points. There we go. I might need to wipe this off because it might have a little bit of that black paint. So let's go ahead and wipe it while I'm thinking about it. And that way you get that off. It didn't seem to have much on there. Okay, now I've got this little spider web. So let's put it up in the tree. And I'm going to imagine that this spider is trying to go to its web over here. And we're just going to put that right in there. I'm just going to use some more of my Fabri-Tac. And just put that around. We'll clean our Fabri-Tac off before we put that back. And I'm just going to put it right up here in the tree. Let me put just a tad of hot glue so it'll hold it right now. You do not ever want to put much hot glue on your molds because it will pop them right off. Always use a good glue for that. I'm going to go ahead and put that just to hold it right now so it'll hold it down. Get that to adhere. Now let's put a little black wax around it. And I think that's all we're going to do to this little simple print today. But it's simple, but it looks so cute made up. So let's take a little bit of our black wax. I'm just going to take a little makeup brush. This is Paint Pixie's Bee's Knees, and this is in the black. We're just going to put that around our sides to make it look a little creepier. So go ahead and take advantage of the sale and get you some prints now. Please don't share if you get downloads or give those away. So there we go, and I'll put a little piece of jute on the back, hang it up. I hope that y'all enjoyed that today. Have a wonderful and blessed rest of the day, and thank you for joining me. Please hit that subscribe button and give me some hearts. Thank you.